and there are more than 250,000 accounts that are currently out of power and in need of restoration. As you'd imagine, the counties that have the highest percentage of power outages are the counties that were in the main pathway of the storm. Counties like Dixie, Levy, Taylor, Suwannee, Madison, Jefferson, and Columbia. Utility workers are actively working to restore power in all affected areas, and they have started doing that as soon as it was safe to do so. So those restoration efforts are ongoing. We do anticipate you could have that these power outage numbers could go higher, but the restoration numbers are going to go higher as well. All 8 urban search and rescue teams are deployed. Our National Guard has folks in places like Taylor County. They're getting on scene there to do things like clear major pieces of the roads and get debris that has been knocked around. So there's a lot of moving parts there, kind of at ground zero. So we've got a National Guard unit there. General Haas going to talk more about that. Coast Guard is active, including with Rotary Wing assets. Florida Fish and Wildlife has both boats and vehicles en route to the affected areas. And Florida Department of Transportation has been conducting cut and toss operations, starting at the southern part of the state as the storm moved through Southwest Florida, clearing those roads and then moving all the way up north. And so they are en route to clear all the way up to Taylor County. Right now, Tampa Airport is going to reopen for incoming flights at 4 p.m. By 3 a.m. tomorrow, it will be fully reopened. Gainesville Airport will reopen tonight, and Tallahassee Airport will reopen first thing in the morning. The ports in Tampa and Manatee are currently undergoing assessments, and when those assessments are concluded, they will be able to resume operations, assuming all is well, which we anticipate it will be. There are, as of now, no confirmed fatalities, and those fatalities are things that get confirmed by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement through medical examiners. We do not have any confirmed fatalities yet. If you have any questions about how things are unfolding in your area, you can go to floridadisaster.org for updates. The Florida Division of Emergency Management will continue to update that website with all the latest information. We have really good retail in terms of all the counties, I think, other than the Big Bend proper, the Tampa Bay area, things are good. Leon County is doing well. We're still assessing what is all going on the ground in the places that had the initial impact. And so we're probably going to be, I'm probably going to try to get down to some of those counties today. But we got a lot of people that are going in, offering assistance from the state perspective, helping these counties be able to stabilize the situation. So for more updates on this, I'm going to bring up Kevin Guthrie from the Florida Division of Emergency Management.
All right. Thank you, Governor. So far right now, the biggest impacted area that we have, following up on what the governor said, is seems to be in Perry. Right now, we know we have a couple of businesses that have caught on fire. A few that have roofs knocked off of them, maybe potentially one collapse. We're getting some conflicting information on that. But we do have crews that are there working hand in hand with Taylor County Sheriff's Office and Taylor County Fire Rescue. So that's going on. Madison County is another county that has been impacted. They have a lot of debris on the ground. They have about 99% power outages in that particular county. So again, we do have resources heading in that direction. Again, I'll let General Haas talk about that. He's got one of his task forces heading in that direction as well. So other than that very specific detail, we continue to search, secure, and stabilize areas that we can do that in. Most of what we're doing here in the Big Bend area is initial search. I will say this, I know we don't have anybody from the CFO's office here, but in search and rescue in Fort Myers, we were able to clear a lot of houses very quickly because of the footprint of Fort Myers. Up here in the Big Bend, you may have 2 houses that are on a 5-mile road. So that is going to take a very long time to clear those. Now, we have more than enough assets, more than enough resources to get that done in a timely manner, but I just want to go ahead and set expectations. Some of this is going to take longer than what we experienced with initial search and rescue in Fort Myers, just again because of the landscape. We're going to have to do a lot of tree cutting and a lot of push emergency access to get into those areas to then do the securing and stabilizing, but we are working through all of that. We have maintained communications with all of our counties. We did have a couple of 911 centers that went down briefly for about 20, 30 minutes. But again, all 911 calls have been answered. There are some minor backlogs in Taylor County and Madison County that, again, local officials are working through. And then we are supplementing those resources to help them get through those calls as quickly as possible. I will reiterate that even though we have 911 calls, there is no one in distress that has not been taken care of. The ones that were in distress, we got folks to immediately. We have a lot of people that have called 911 saying, I'm entrapped in my house, I'm okay, but I need help. So they are 100% okay. We're going to get to those folks just as fast as we can get our emergency access teams into them. The state emergency response team will continue to work around the clock to meet the needs of all the survivors, support our first responders, and initiate an efficient recovery process to communities impacted by Hurricane Idalia. We are actively working with our law enforcement partners to continue to conduct search and stabilize, as I've already mentioned. We have a recovery team that's already in the EOC. We here at the Division of Emergency Management, we activate our recovery team the exact same time that we activate our response team. So our recovery team has already been working for several days getting ready for this. They are already conducting windshield assessments throughout the state of Florida. We will go into the next phase of this will be individual damage assessments, initial damage assessments, where those are done at the local county level in a little more detail to get numbers that will then roll up with us. We already have FEMA that is standing by ready to do what we call joint damage assessments. So they have teams here already ready to go for that. So you're going to see a very, very quick response on the recovery side of the house to do individual damage assessments and what's also referred to as public assistance damage assessments. That's where we check public infrastructure, city, county buildings, things of that nature. So again, all of that stuff will be unfolding most likely as soon as tomorrow so that we could get the recovery process jump started here in the state of Florida. As always, we could not do that without the leadership of the governor and the objectives that he sets for. So again, Governor, thank you so much.
Okay, General.
Good morning, and thank you, Governor, for your leadership and support of your Florida National Guard. Director Guthrie, thank you again for the great work your team is doing to protect Florida citizens. As we continue to assess the damage landfall caused across the state of Florida, our thoughts and prayers remain with the impacts of the storm on the folks. Florida National Guard is fully mobilized with approximately 5,500 soldiers and airmen supporting hurricane response efforts. Post-landfall, Guard elements have been providing support to our state and local partners with mission sets including reconnaissance, search and rescue, damage assessment, and route reconnaissance operations. Our 53rd Infantry Brigade Combat Team is heavily engaged in Florida's western coastal counties, primarily conducting ground search and rescue and route clearance operations. In fact, Florida Guardsmen are conducting high water vehicle rescues in Hernando and Taylor counties. Likewise, our 164th ADA Brigade is conducting similar missions throughout our central and northeast counties. We maintain additional immediate response forces available to rapidly reinforce our presence and capabilities in areas with greatest need, like Taylor County. We are embedded with each of our impacted county emergency operations centers and remain ready to provide support as requested. As briefed earlier, the Florida National Guard currently has 2,400 vehicles, including high water and high mobility vehicles, 14 rotary wing aircraft conducting planned urban search and rescue operations this afternoon, and 23 small watercraft on hand to support riverine operations as needed. Additionally, Florida is receiving assistance from other state National Guards. We're expecting 2 truck companies, one from South Carolina and the other from Tennessee. And we're also preparing to receive 3 UH-60 helicopters from Kentucky. At the same time, Maryland, Tennessee, and Colorado are standing by in case we need additional air assets. We remain grateful to our fellow Guard states for their assistance and support. Your Florida National Guard is prepared to accomplish any mission required by the Florida Department of Emergency Management, and we stand ready to support our state, fellow citizens, and our neighbors in need. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Governor DeSantis, for your continued leadership. Thank you, Director Guthrie, for your continued partnership as we respond to this event. Several days ago, we began preparing. We've had our crews and equipment staged for the last 36 hours. Immediately after landfall and the storm passed through, we began pushing those crews into the impacted area. Over 700 crew members, which includes 100 bridge inspectors, 1,100 generators, and 250 pieces of heavy equipment. We've been moving these resources into the impacted area so that we can quickly address any needs, get the cut and toss operations taken care of, and support the life safety mission. In the main area of impact, we have nearly 1,000 bridges that have to be inspected, really focusing our efforts close to the coastline initially. We have several major roadways that go over the Steinhatchee River, the Swanee River, and others. Right now, State Road 24 going into Cedar Key is impassable because of high water. State Road 51 going into Steinhatchee is also impassable because of high water, but our bridge crews are inspecting most of the bridges as we speak, and we'll be finishing those operations within the next hour. We've made a lot of progress. We're going to continue to do so. We've moved the generators that are needed into the area. Most of the traffic signal assessments have been completed. We have about 50 locations left to complete, and we will be deploying generators for those traffic signals that need power. As we continue to respond to this storm, all 13 of our traffic management centers across the state will continue their 24/7 operations, inputting real-time traffic data into Florida 511. Again, that is the most accurate and timely information you can get for traffic at florida511.com. We have 185 road rangers that are continuing to patrol our interstate system and responding to motorists as needed. One thing to remember, there is still high water in a lot of areas of the state. If you see water overtopping a road, please do not drive through it. If you see water, please stop, turn around, go a different way. It can be really dangerous to drive through flooded roadways. Thank you again, Governor DeSantis, for your leadership and support as we respond to this event.